So good evening, if you are in Europe. Well, this presentation is dedicated to Projekt Záře, so it's Czech name, how it can be translated to Project Glow in English. And this project was running between 1992 to 2022, so for 30 years. That's for this presentation is named 30 years of UAP investigation in Czechia. My name is Martin Chlebovský. I live in Czech Republic in the city of Ostrava, so it's North Moravian Silesian region of the Czech Republic. I am interested in this UFO and UAP related cases or these subjects more than, let's say, 35 years. So I was born in 1966, so not very young anymore. But in Projekt Záře, I was participating in project team for roughly last 20 years of its existence. So let's look to the history. Maybe when we go back in the time, so we have some kind of time machine and we can go back to early 90s. So imagine the situation in Eastern Europe, so in former communist countries as Czechoslovakia was at the time. So everything was new, especially people can start fully focus or fully raise their interest to their hobbies without any controlling or managing from centralized communist government or centralized communist party. And therefore, every new ideas, every new hobbies, including this UFO parts, was quite new. As you can see, there was organization which was called Czechoslovak Angel Astronaut Association. So according to name, you can maybe recognize some inspiration from Erich von Däniken and this ancient astronaut theory. And this organization was set in early 90s in Czechoslovakia. Inside this organization was also a group of people who had interest not just belief that Earth was visited by some extraterrestrial beings in the past, but start to seriously investigate phenomenon of UFO as such. So on this, inside this platform was the beginning of former or at the time future Projekt Záře, so Project Glow, and actually exact day of setting of this project was 4th of April 1992. So there was this famous Congress of Czechoslovak Archaeoastronautical Society. And inside this Congress, Projekt Záře as independent platform was announced and set. So that was the very, very beginning of the project and the work which was done next 30 years. Here you can see faces of the founding fathers of Projekt Záře. Unfortunately, 4 of these guys already passed away, but maybe some familiar names for some of you. Vladimír Šiška, this is his younger view, maybe from the 90s, but he was almost all the time with some breaks, project manager of Projekt Záře, and he was also co-authoring some books with Vladimír Liška, so that's funny that the names are almost or maybe sounding very similar to you. So at the very beginning, some project objectives was set, and there was 3 main objectives which was declared in the beginning of the project. So first of all, there was collecting, as a first objective was collecting and statistical processing of information about UFOs and other anomalous phenomena on the territory of the Czech Republic. So it means that the ambition was to have in the scope only testimonies and observation from the Czech Republic. From time to time, we also get some observation from abroad, but we don't seriously work with them because it was out of the scope for the project. Then after some statistical or collecting data, so of course there should come some more expert work, so to try to explain the cases, use some consultancy of scientists, and by this asking them actively and try to bring them to cooperation with Projekt Záře, so to get and raise their interest about these anomalous phenomena. And third objective of the Projekt Záře was also to raise the interest in wide public, so use public media and inform public about the subject. So you can compare what is written in the strategic document of UAP Czech, what objectives they have, and I think that these three are almost the same, almost the same way formulated even, but there is one more for UAP Czech, and it is also to have some influence on political representatives of EU or particular countries. So what has happened and what was the results of the project, you can read unfortunately only in Czech, but if you use some DeepL or Google Translator, so you probably will get good results. So you can read the final report, and when I will then share this presentation material, so there is a link under this, so you can download the final report. So from the very beginning, we started to work. So I was not member from the very beginning of Projekt Záře, so I came somewhere in year 2000 or something like that. So you can see some historical faces here. But what has happened? So Projekt Záře started to collect observation and testimonies from the witnesses, and also somehow collect all publicly known, let's say, news from newspapers or magazines at the time, and put it to some database. Unfortunately, at the time, the database was available only in the paper form. Inspiration for our database and database records was, of course, Project Blue Book record and Blue Book questionnaire, which was used in the 60s. And that was great inspiration and great help to start with collecting any data. At the time, we also started to develop and use some process to collect and processing the data. It started, as I said, firstly in the paper form, but lately we start to use a normal computer database. And the process currently looks like it is visible on this diagram. So on the left side, you can see that we use a questionnaire or in some cases other channel to collect information. In the very beginning of the collecting information, personal data are moving away to separate database, to separate records, so not visible in the further processing. So the data are anonymized, let's say. And each database record, so it means each observation is owned by a named investigator inside the project Projekt Záře. So first task of this investigator is to check the correctness of the data, so do some initial cleaning, and put the data from the questionnaire inside the database. So it's semi-automatical process, so it's not going from the even online questionnaire directly to database. So first is checking, and then if it is approved by data owner or case owner, so then it's continuing to be stored in the database. Then another checking is, or another step of the checking is performed by the investigator. So there is another communication with the witness to potentially gain more information, collect more data is available, get contact to other witnesses if possible, and so on, so on. At the same time, mostly the database record is already available for other team members of Projekt Záře to evaluate the case, to say their opinions, what this can be or what to do. And also this can be available for external consultants from scientific community. If we are having all information which is possible to, or what are possible to get about the case, so we are then closing the case, and possible closing can be in three categories. So three category results can be then done. So case can be explained. So the category is so-called A, or there is not enough information to explain the case, or even say that, okay, so it is unexplainable. So that's the category B. And if it is real, let's say real UFO, so not possible to identify or explain the case, so it's category C. And after the closing, so cases are usually listed and presented on our web page. So I think it's quite similar process what was Danny presenting here last month for GAP in Germany. That's the print screen of the record in our database, just randomly selected, so just how it looks for the investigator. Of course, this is not a questionnaire what is on the Projekt Záře web page. This is really database, so it is data already in the database record. Okay, so that I already explained what category can be as a result for the case closing. So category A explained, category B not properly documented, not enough information, and category C not explained, even though we have proper data available for the case. Maybe more comments on the Projekt Záře scope. Of course, UFOs, including cases of close encounters 1 to 3, were the most common cases we solved or we work with during these 30 years, almost 87% of all cases. But we were interested also about other anomalous phenomena, not like pure UFOs, but also other mysteries, let's say, like apparitions of some body-shaped projections or whatever. So we have altogether 89 cases of this category, and from this 89, 19, or what's the number here, were not solved. We have also some CE4 cases, so-called kidnapping to UFO, 28 cases altogether, but only 4% of this was not explained. Then we also have in the scope crop circles, and we had quite many of them for these 30 years. But that's interesting that there was also some waves in some years. there was quite plenty of these crop cycles announced to Projekt Záře, and some years there was even nothing. But altogether there was 371 cases, but only 5 of them was in category C, so not explainable at the moment. Also interesting thing is so-called spontaneous human combustion. In the Czech Republic, we know about 8 cases which could be in that category. We were cooperating with firefighters who had these cases in their list, and just one case still is mystery, so category C. Then another category of mysteries which we were dealing with is anomalous phenomenon in general. So strange sounds heard somewhere, also called poltergeist. So I think the German-speaking colleagues probably know well what is it. And among these cases, one poltergeist, so strange house with strange behavior, was quite enigmatic, because we have very good documentation from firefighter guard, which was providing technical support to the inhabitants of this house when some furniture start to move suddenly, and windows and doors start to jump away from their places, let's say. And we have phone call record between the officer on site from the fighter guard and with the manager or main dispatcher online. So in this phone call, there is a description of the situation, what this firefighters was seeing on their own eyes. So it's a very reliable testimony. Then we have also a couple of some strange things which were found somewhere. Some pieces of ice falling from the sky. So it is maybe sometimes not very enigmatical, but if it is during the summer and no clouds and no planes, so then it is a bit enigmatic. Then the piece of metals. So this piece of metal was found on the garden, but it's from material. It's not normal metal. It's some specialized one which is used to electrodes in glass manufacturing, but no such manufacturer is near the place of findings of this metal piece, and that was quite a mystery how this can get to this garden. And this is quite ancient thing, old part of ancient tool. So he was also dealing with these things. But let's go back. My mouse is quicker than me. Let's go back to final statistics. So as you can see, most of the cases for this category of UFO appearance, C4 cases, crop cycles, spontaneous combustion, anomalous phenomena in general, anomalous things. So totally cases, and category A, so it means explained. Category B, not explained because lack of data or information, and category C, enough information but not good hypothesis or theory how to explain it. What is also interesting when you look to cases, so when was the periods when we get the most of the records of most of the observations or testimonies. So the beginning of 90s, so it is a wave when the interest was generally on very high level, and then we can see peaks when some new things are started to be used, like this peak is related to massive use of these Chinese lanterns or this flying lampions, or I don't know how you call it. This peak is probably in 2019 somehow related to Starlink and something between. Yeah, okay, so for instance, usage of this projections to skies and so on, which was started to use before 2000. Daytime distribution of the observations, so I think it is quite clear that most of the cases are so-called nocturnal lights, so time after sunset and night before people are going to sleep, so that's the most cases. The rest of the night and during day, of course, the peak is not there, but maybe we have photographies of some objects from daytimes. If you would read our final report, so you can also find other interesting statistics. So distribution according districts in the Czech Republic, so according locations, according distribution according object shapes, colors, sounds, if there was any sound effect or not, then witnesses by gender, witnesses feeling, and maybe also some more statistics. Probably you already noticed before, but you can see it on graph, that in UFO, or all cases, we have 151 unexplained. So it's 3.6 roughly % of all cases. Then we have positively explained roughly 41.5% of all cases, and of course the majority is without properly documented information, so lack of data, let's say. If you compare these results of Projekt Záře, for instance, with Japan results, so they have more categories than we. So they have A, which is the same for us. They have D here, which is our C, and then they have B and C. So it is, let's say, our B category, but they have B, which is more close to be explained, so more close to category A, and category C is more close to category D. But what is interesting, that the category D, so unidentified phenomenon, is almost the same number as we have. So it means that our process and way how to work and explanation of the cases go the very similar way as in other organizations. Just one curiosity. So, of course, we were collecting data between 1992 and 2022, but it doesn't mean that we have cases only inside these dates. Of course, we are collecting also testimonies and information from all times, let's say, back to the history. And the oldest case what we have in our database is dated 8th October of 1130, so 1930. I can say 1130. And it's from medieval chronicle of so-called Canon of Vyšehrad, which is written in Latin. And if you use some, or maybe some of you, of course, can read Latin without obstacles, but I have to use the translator. And it says that at the day of 8th of October, 1130, some monster very similar to serpent or dragon was seen in one moment at the time of sunset, flying over all Bohemia and through many other places. But after this, any other very bright sign was seen by some in the morning hour. So some description of UAP in the medieval chronicle, and we have it in our database. It is, of course, resulted into category B, because it's not enough information to somehow validate or evaluate the case. But let's see what is more interesting. So what are the really unexplained cases? And I selected top 5, let's say, what we have in the database, and which are interesting and could be still investigated and trying to be solved, but we didn't succeed inside the Projekt Záře during investigation and evaluation of these cases. As you can see, we are using similar or maybe even almost the same coding for the cases as Danny was presenting for German database. So it is always the year, month, day, then the number of the case, day, then the category. So we have UFO for UFO, then for other like CC, crop cycles, and so other coding, and the place where it was observed. So let's look to the similar cases. This case is even from the year 1938, quite old, and it is the oldest one what we have direct witness testimony. So in that day, this witness was just 10 years old, and he was outside the house on some meadow. And suddenly in the morning, he noticed that the landscape is starting to change color to red, and then from the horizon there rise a red spherical object or red ball. And there was some rotating grays around the ball, which was more wider on the opposite ends, so shape of puddles. And the object was in very low altitude, coming closer to this witness. So he started to be scary and ran away. So then he just noticed that the object went a bit up to some trees, and all objects or objects on the land, so landscape and the trees start to be in the color tone of the red from the color of the object. So this, even it is old, and it is also some discussion if it is really category C or lack of data for rather category B. But in this case, even this was just 10 years old child or children. This guy later get a university degree. He was military meteorologist, and then when he was also as a pensioner, so he provided us his testimony. But what is interesting, what you can see on this graph, we start to use dates of some cases which we think they can be from natural origin, so not some technical or other origin, but can have some root cause from the nature. And we use the table for the geomagnetic index KP, and this index is simply describing the status of Earth magnetic field in which shape is. So it can be from 0 to 9, and when it is over 5, so it means geomagnetical storm. And in some cases, and quite many of these, which we think can be natural origins, so usually some spherical shining or lightning balls, this geomagnetic field index is quite high, so it is indicating geomagnetic storm. I don't know if someone else in some other group or investigation group used to compare this index values with dates of some cases, but I think that this can be quite interesting. I think this is most enigmatic case what we have in our database. We were investigating this for years and several times and never got any good explanation. And this case, I think Jaroslav knows this very well, because as a journalist he helped us, and due to this case actually we got contact to Edoardo and Italian ufologist group, and then get to UAP Czech organization and EuroUFO net organization or group. So what has happened? It has happened in July 1987, so during communist government in the Czechoslovakia. So you can imagine that western borders of our country was carefully guarded by army. So it was so-called Iron Curtain. And in the day, raiders which were guarding the south border with Austria noticed some object coming from Austria to South Moravia. Okay, so some Air Force defense helicopter get order to start to investigate what's coming. So the first identification from the radar was some small airplane. So probably someone just lost direction and by mistake is going through the border from Austria. So check it and force it to land or force it to get back to Austria. So the pilots were starting with the helicopter. They were navigated to the proper place where the object was on the radar, and it was near the Vranov Nadi. So there is a dam on the river Die. It is a water reservoir which is used for recreation purposes mostly. So there was quite a lot of people swimming in the water. It was during the summer, nice day. But at the first moment, the pilots cannot see anything. So the navigator from the land on the radar just giving them orders where to fly, what is the let's fly level of the object. what's the direction, and so on. After some time, they just spotted cigar-shaped object in several hundred meters destination from their helicopter. So they to start to chase the object, but the object was moving sometimes rapidly, sometimes just hovering on the place, suddenly changing direction in a very unexpected way. So compare it with Tic Tac case in US recently, or in 2013, and compare it with a case which was in Italy. I think it was 1978 or something like that, and it was even photographed by Italian pilot of the plane. So the object was chased by the helicopter, but of course the helicopter don't have ability to really keep the speed and direction of the object, so they even run out of the gas in the helicopter, so they have to land. But the object, according to the radar observation, continued through Dukovany, which is one of the nuclear electricity plant in the Czech Republic. They continue in this circle trajectory under Jaslovské Bohunice, which is a nuclear plant in Slovakia, and then move to somewhere into Hungary. So we have direct witnesses as the pilots of the helicopter. We have several direct witnesses from the land, from the people who were at the time on the Vranovnadý Dam, and we have also some witness giving out testimony to somewhere here near the Slovak border. What is interesting, all testimonies are describing this as a cigar-shaped object, just silver shining, so reflecting sunshine from the surface, and without any windows, without anything visible or recognizable on the surface of the body. Interesting thing also is that the pilots got order to shut down the object, but they didn't fulfill it because they were scared to have some problems or to get some injuries on the land of the people who were swimming in the dam. And of course the order was given also not properly, because order to shut down any object could be done only if the object is properly identified, and object was not identified. So then unfortunately all tracks in official archive was lost, because there was mistakes done by military personnel, and not to have problems in the future. So all records was just put away.
Martin, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What was the anomalous behavior of this object? I mean, is there anything out of the ordinary? I mean, its maneuverability, speed, vertical, horizontal movements, or something like this? Is anything of this reported?
All of this kind, so speed and changes of the speed. So from, let's say, from 0 to 2,000 kilometers per hour, reportedly, of course, and according to radar. Then maneuvers, so like changing directions in a right angle suddenly, and all directions, so not on the same flight level, but up and down or left to right, so all directions, so in all these three dimensions.
Let me ask you another question. Was this object ever stationary? I mean, did it stop and then accelerated like in the Tic Tac, or just was moving constantly?
Yeah, reportedly, yes.
If I can add some more information, as a journalist who was working on this case, I was talking to the pilots and also with some witnesses on the ground, and those pilots has said that it was making something like combat turn. It tried to hide to the sun in order not to be seen or identified from the helicopter. So and these maneuvers are also in the informations from the people on the ground.
As we are asking question, did he stop on the nuclear power plant, or did he just pass by? Or
Just passed, as far as I know.
There's also one more interesting thing, because at the time in Czechoslovakia, there were only two nuclear power plants. The first was in Dukovany, the second was in Jaslovské Bohunice, as you can see it on the map, and maybe a third quite nice information is that the direction to Hungary, in that direction there was only one Hungarian nuclear power plant in Paks. So this is not, we are not sure if it passed also over the Paks, but it made a turn over our two nuclear power plants, and it's quite interesting for us.
Yes, so the most enigmatic case in our database, and thanks to Jaroslav, because as I said, we were dealing with the case from early 90s, where we get the first testimonies, and I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when Jaroslav again tried to get some new testimonies, and he succeeded with some even military personnel from the time, so serving on the border at the time.
Maybe it is time to explain my role. Sorry for sorry for another interruption of your presentation. Let me tell you, I'm not quite full member of Project Glow. I'm a journalist, a TV reporter, and a writer, and I was slowly approaching the project and became a collaborating researcher. So I'm quite new at the project. I'm interested in this last 10 years only, and my main role was to connect Project Glow with Eduardo. So this was the lucky moment. I tried to find anything more about some similar cases as our enigmatic case was, and I found out some information about the Italian case, and that was the beginning of this evening. So that's it from me.
Okay, thanks. Any other question to that case?
Can I ask one more question, if that's okay, about this case? It's a bit more general. It's a question about nuclear weapons. I don't know if there were nuclear weapons in the Czech Republic during the Soviet era, but if they were there, have you ever tried to correlate that with sightings of UFOs, or maybe anecdotally only, because I'm sure this was very secret?
This should be maybe a question to me. In Czechoslovakia, there were two depots of tactical nuclear weapons, which were delivered here by Soviet army. The it was from late 60s until 1991, and these depots are on western part of Czech Republic, and we have I don't think so we have some correlation between these depots and some UFO sightings. Maybe last 5 years I'm still planning to translate some of my videos into English and to create or develop my English YouTube channel, my second channel. As I see this evening, this will be very useful because I have recorded some videos, some reportages on these objects as well. But in answer to your question, we don't know anything about some coincidences or some maybe I don't know if the UFO was interested in these facilities, those Soviet facilities were not investigated by them in the Czech Republic.
At least, yeah, because it was quite, let's say, closed areas, so without any public access to that, so we don't have any witnesses of this. Or if there was any occurrence of UFO, so we don't have any observation or witness of reports of witnesses to observe.
But you know where those sites were? I mean, nearly the exact location. I mean, the emplacement of the complex. I won't say at the meter, but you know.
We have.
One was over here in there's a military area Libava, and second one was Yaroslav here somewhere.
The location you have mentioned should be called as fourth because it was a different type of object. Those three depots. One of them is still preserved, and there's a museum in it. If you want to see the website, I think they if you put into Google Atom Museum CZ, you will find it, and it's near Příbram. If you can show the location, it's southwest part of Central Bohemian region, and two others were on the north of the Czech Republic. These two are not preserved anymore. And let me say, the UFO sightings problems. We haven't any information. We didn't have any information until 1990s because it was strictly prohibited and sealed area. And as I found out, the guards didn't know what they are guarding, and those were Soviet guards, and they were removed after the end of the occupation in 1991. So we have no sources of information from these guys. We don't know who they were.
Okay, so time is running, so let's move to another case. This one was also interesting because it's so-called radar phantom, and that was testimony was provided to Projekt Záře from military personnel. So it was in the time when even Czech or Czechoslovak army in that time declared to cooperate somehow with Projekt Záře. So it's from 1992, May, 5th of May. And in the location, which is called Tři, so it's in the border with West Germany. So there was also some radar indicated object coming from Germany to Czech Republic. So also helicopter was ordered to start and check what object or small plane is coming from Germany, and if this it was not even in the time of Iron Curtain, so it was like friendly friendly checking what's going on and if the object or if the plane needs some help or whatever, as it was not registered flight. But when the helicopter came to the place where it was indicated on the radar, so there was no visual contact from pilots of the helicopter to the object. So they were trying to see it, but they didn't succeed. So they was just trying to locate the object according navigating from the air, from the radar. Let's say indications, and when it was not helicopter first. There was even aircraft, so it was jet aircraft L-39. Started to check this aircraft was not successful to see or has the visual contact with the object. So then the helicopter came to help. They didn't succeed, and after some time, when the object was following this trajectory, suddenly this disappeared from the radars. But there was also several witnesses from the land, which was visually observing the object and giving us some testimonies.
Oh, let me add one suspicion. I suspect the pilots, they saw that, as did the people on the ground. In my opinion, they judged it safer for them to report not seeing it. So, but this is just my suspicion.
Yeah, but that was the time when Projekt Záře was somehow officially cooperating with the Czechoslovak army. So that was the official report we got, that we can investigate. But what you can investigate, what theory you can tell here. But what we found was what this land testimonies. Then there was a very interesting series of cases of observation, so-called Czech Siberia. So Czech Siberia is a geographical name for this area, which is in somewhere between Central and South Bohemia, and it is in near towns or village Miličín and Mezno. Well, so there was usually some spherical objects, so balls observed somewhere in this area. It was a series of observation, many witnesses, but even some reported some strange human body shapes observed there near the balls and so on. But what means that graph, and it is the same KP index I presented on the case from 1938. Again, when we have some balls of different colors or shining balls or spherical objects, so it could be maybe explained with some unknown natural phenomena. So we are comparing the date of observation with the value at the same day with this KP index, which is index of the geomagnetic field. As I said, it is from 0 to 9, and it is over 5, so it means geomagnetical storm. So again, in the time of observation, what we have from the 12th of July 1991, there was starting geomagnetical storm. So the index, the value of the index is higher than usual.
I have a question about this. Does it work like a meteor station? Do you have, I mean, is it general information for an area? Or
no, it is for the whole Earth, for the whole planet. And this data are coming from actually from German Geophysical Institute, I think it's in Potsdam. They have
Okay.
data for this index from back from 1937 or something like that, up to date. And it is always 3 hours, I don't know if average or some value measuring every 3 hours.
So it's one value global for the world.
For the whole
Okay.
Earth, yeah.
It's really interesting.
If you remember the first case from this, so that's what I was also commenting here. So we have also geomagnetical storm for the date of the case from 1938, and also there was some spherical ball observed, shining ball.
Yeah, this is really interesting
And we
correlation.
have more cases like this. Yeah, so it could indicate that this can be some natural origin or root cause of this phenomena.
May I interrupt for a moment? This is Dave.
But the people who are talking to us, the witnesses, were very scared, much more than from magnetical phenomena. And also we have a video interview from 1991, which was shot by Czechoslovak TV. We have it in our archive. So those girls who saw it as a first gave the testimony, and it's quite interesting. Maybe it will be interesting also to translate it into English if someone is interested about that.
We are. And did the ball, the red balls moved, or they were static in the sky?
There were more testimonies. The first case was about 2 girls from Prague, which were on the summer. They were walking nearby the Milichin, and the ball, the shining ball, it was after them. They were moving
Like chasing?
to Milichin, and it was coming after them. And they ran away. Then they ran home, and many people from the village saw it, and they saw some structure that looked like some silhouettes of bodies inside of that ball. And there were some testimonies which was repeatedly after the 1991 year. And when I came to Milichin to start to talk to the people, and I had the biggest problem I have ever had on all the places I've been visiting, because no one wanted to talk to me, almost no one. And the problem was the local priest who told the people that this is something with the God, and nothing should be said about that. So we don't have much information because no one from the locals wanted to talk to us.
And the similar character was 1 year before, so in 1990, also it was in July, and spherical object, orange color, was observed in Ostrožská Ves, which is a place in Moravia. Yes, testimony that the ball-shaped object was landing, and after that there was sliding down some antennas from the object. This testimony came from 2 children, but there was also other observation of the ball in that area and that time. And again, when compare with KP index, so there was not very strong, but already on the level 5, so classified as geomagnetical storm. So that was unexplained cases, but we have, of course, the majority of explained cases positively, and some proofs of explanation. So 32% of cases was explained. We are using altogether 64 categories for explanation, and the most top categories to explain cases are in our database, of course, flying lampions. So it was from 36% of all explained cases. Then projections to sky, 9%, aircrafts, 9%, meteors, 7%, space technology on the orbit, 7%, bright stars or planets, 5%, helicopters, 5%, insect, so usually on photos, so that's are the cases, probably all of you know it, that someone is taking a photo of something, and after that suddenly found something strange on the photo, and usually it's a bird or insect, and I don't have birds here because they were less than this 3%, so mostly it's insect, not birds. And interesting cases are meteorological balloons. Strange way. There are all for some time period. There are also quite common some group of cases which are very similar because something new is occurring in the sky, like LED lightning in the rotors of helicopters. So we had suddenly started to have more cases in the very short time period. So some helicopter in some certain area which is known for helicopter airbase. So then we have several testimonies, and when it's night flight and the rotor is rotating with the blue light, so it doesn't look like a helicopter, but as a flat flying saucer, let's say. So we explained quite many cases with the night lighting of helicopters. Then there was a wave of this flying Chinese lampions, even in some floats. Let's say quite many lampions flying at the same time on the same place. Now I think it's forbidden because of danger of fires in the forest and so on. But in the beginning of 2010 or this time area, it was quite used. And if you don't know what is it, so it looks like UFO and strange. So quite wave of this observation. Meteorological balloons, for those who don't know what is it, so it could look quite strange because it is usually white. It means that it is reflecting sunshine in the sky, and in some when the meteorological balloons is in the certain level, so usually is destroyed by the internal pressure. So for the witness from the land, it looks like it's suddenly dismissing with the big or quick velocity somewhere in the sky. So then we have cooperation with the Meteorological Institute in the Czech Republic, and they are providing data about this meteorological balloon, so we can compare observation with the time and places where the balloons are used. So that was about some explanation, and if I going back to project objectives, so we declared not only to collect and process data about the observation and cooperation with the scientists, which was the first part of the presentation. So now we also have the objective to cooperate with media and somehow spread the message to public about UFOs and anomalous phenomena, and let's say this rational all scientific approach to the phenomena to try to explain it. So there was many members of the Projekt Záře was participating in some television or other media events. There was also some, and that's what I promised. So Jaroslav may comment more, but I found in his channel, which is called badatele.net. So badatele, it means something like researchers. So on this channel, which is set and maintained by Jaroslav directly, there is one video which is even with the English name, Mysterious UFO Cases, Czechoslovak Army Incident, which describes quite widely this cigar-shaped UFO incident near the Vranov. And it is with subtitles, and you can use subtitles in English, automatic translation for that. So on this picture is a link which will lead you directly to video.
If I can add my one more information, I have an English channel as well. I don't have time to do that, but I have made about, I don't think, 3 or 4 videos about this case in Vranov, and 2 of them were fully translated into English and put on my small English channel. And I have right now I have put the links into Czech to them, so you don't have to use a translator. You can see these 2 first videos in English, and I promise I will continue my work to translate those UFO videos into my second channel in the future. So right when we are members of wider organization, this makes I promise I will do that. Not only promise.
That's great, because I didn't notice even that it is in English so far, but good. And also there was some books issued in the Czech Republic about this, mostly by Vladimír Šiška, who was or still is the manager or leader of the Projekt Záře. Okay, so as I said, Projekt Záře was just project, so it means that he was working for a certain time, as projects usually do. And so what's the legacy? Legacy is quite good collection of data in our database. But if we now thinking about the future, so we have, it seems that we have new opportunities inside wider European context. So we have UAP Czech and perhaps other organization. So we have some, by the way, we had 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting in Prague with all members of the Projekt Záře, and Jaroslav was participating as well. We were discussing about the future of the Projekt Záře as it was officially closed. But we agreed that something, if project was closed, that could be something like transition from the project phase to continuous service. So we decided to open again online questionnaire. So it is working already now directly on our web page. So there is a link. But what is the problem? Of course, we are not organization, so we are just a group of amateur researchers doing everything in our free time after normal work, so during the evening, nights, and weekends. And so it's a lack of resources for everything. So in the future, we would be luckily somehow to unify the data with the UAP Czech database, and maybe in the future just give link to this global or European database to put data from the Czech Republic directly there, and of course provide our database to be merged or just transformed to historical data to UAP Czech database in the future. So I don't know what are the because when we had the meeting last week about the databases, so it looks like there will stay the local databases and there will be just some connectors or interfaces between. But I for the Czech Republic and Projekt Záře database, I rather say it just to transform directly to other database. So last two slides. So just list of the names. So the names of the members of Projekt Záře in during the closing. So in 2022. And also thanks and credits are going to our external consultants. As you can see, from scientific area. So most of them are astronomers from Astronomical Institute of Czech Science Academy, Czech Technical University, photographers, traffic control in Prague. What else is interesting here? And fire guards. There was cooperation for this SHC cases. Geographical or Geological Institute, photographers, astronomers. That's meteorological institute as well. So that's the names which were of scientists which were cooperating with us during the time. So that was the presentation. Thank you. So there is the link to our web pages. We are also active on Facebook, and I will provide you also this link to the values of this geomagnetical index, which were used for calculation to some cases. Okay, so that's all from me for today.